To start off, I went shopping at my dollar store and bought a ton of fake flowers. Definitely look for more affordable sellers, as buying this many can really add up. From there, you can pull the flowers off individually. They should just pop off, but if they're tricky, I would say use scissors or pliers. I also suggest hanging on to the leftover stems because they can come in handy later. For the shoulder base, I made mine out of EVA foam. My pattern was loosely based off of Camwe Cosplay's armor patterns, which I'll link below because they are fantastic. I changed mine around a bit because I knew I wanted them oversized and sticking out, and then just adjusted as I went. I glued my pieces together with hot glue and moved in sections to secure everything. Then I would just try them on my shoulders and cut them down to the final shape that I wanted. I also added a little cut here to have them hug my shoulder a bit more. The best trick to curve foam is with cuts, so these are easy ways to adjust. To connect my pieces, I cut out a curved shape from the foam that would hook around behind my neck. You can see I had tape on there originally, and this is so you can kind of try it on yourself and see where the piece should be glued and if it needs to be larger, smaller, more curved, anything like that. I added just some little pieces of craft foam to the underside just to make it a little bit more secure, and then it was time to move on to the flower gluing. Be sure to cut off all the little mini stems on the back of the flowers. This way when you glue them down, they can lay flat on the foam. Moving into super speed, this just becomes a fun game of placing different sized and colored flowers where you think they'll look best. Laying the largest flowers down first helps a bit because it covers a lot of area and lets you fill in the gaps. I did this on both sides at the same time, so it was easier to constantly balance the warm and cool colors and making sure I had enough on each side. And then we have this. I knew I wanted these to have pieces that extended off of them, so I went back to the leftover stems and used them as accent pieces. I also had bought little shrubbery type stems that I cut apart and glued in along the outside of the flowers as well. A lot of this is just playing around until you get something that you're happy with. And if you have trouble with larger pieces, you can kind of use the petals of some of the flowers to better grip their bases and hold them in place. When you're happy with that, there is still a lot of exposed foam, including the edges of the pieces themselves. To fill in any extra little gaps and go over the sides, I used fake moss and just hot glued the clumps down all around it. This part can get a little messy, so be ready for that. I left the back curve alone because I knew it wouldn't be seen for my purposes, but you could either just cover that with moss and flowers as well, or secure the shoulder pieces to a costume without the connector piece. Because the moss can have a bunch of pieces that don't directly touch glue, it can leave little flyaways. And to help with this, I just used a hairspray to act as a finishing glue, almost to hold all the pieces in. And then that is it for the flower shoulder pieces. Thank you so much for watching, guys.